I think we're live right now, Steve.
Hey Tammy, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Not bad for a Tuesday.
That's awesome. Hi, everyone who's joined us so far. It's great to see some familiar faces logged in. I am Tammy Johnson. I'm the ride director, and I'm here with my colleague, Steve Merker. I think most of you know this gentleman. He's the co founder of the ride, and he is also the chief cycling officer. We're really happy to be back here with you today. Um, Most of you or many of you had tuned in to our first live Q&A session, which was earlier in June. We're happy to be back now. Um, One of the things Steve and I often talk about is how some of the events, nonprofit events, have been canceled because of the COVID pandemic. And we have remained committed to maintaining focus and support to the research at Princess Margaret, and we're very proud to be here to share with you many of the details around our August 29th virtual event. Many riders have asked us to do something. The ride has been so important to so many, and we have, you've heard Steve say it, you've heard me say it. We have built this plane as we flew it. We're still flying it, still little bits of building, but we're really happy to tell you how far we've come and what a great day we have in store on the 29th. Steve, do you mind sharing some of the interesting things that are happening maybe as early as tomorrow morning?
As early as tomorrow morning,
Something's happening, isn't
there is. So tomorrow morning we're going to be on CP24 and maybe another couple of TV channels. I'm going to be down in Niagara Falls with my good friend, 92-year-old Bill Wall. And Bill Wall, for those, I think a lot of people know Bill. He's legendary in the Ride to Conquer Cancer world. He's going to be doing his 10th ride this year at 92 years old on a tandem bike with his good friend Don. So back in May when I went to see Bill, he was like, "Steve, I can't wrap my head around this virtual ride. Like, help me understand it." And I said, "Bill, first of all, we need you to do this ride. This is your 10th ride. I know this is going to be your last ride. Barb, your wife, wouldn't have it any other way. So we needed you to do the ride this year." So I said, "Bill, think of the ride this year like IKEA. The ride is like IKEA because there's some assembly required. Everybody has to build their own and create their own ride this year. This is like we're turning 5,000 bike riders into event planners, and you need to go and create your own bike ride. And we're gonna provide you some tools, but we need everyone to think like IKEA this year." And so I think over a month or so, Bill kind of got it. And in fact, I saw the plans that Bill has for his team, the Power of Bill. And so on August the 29th, I think the small team are going to gather maybe on their driveway or on their street. They're going to ride from Niagara Falls to Fort Erie and back, which I think is around 50 kilometers. So that's Bill's ride that he's going to be doing, and his team, the Power of Bill. And then at the conclusion of their ride, what I understand is they're going to be hosting a socially appropriate and socially distanced barbecue get together in their backyard. Remember, Bill doesn't have a team of 50 or 100 riders. He's got a small team, but a great team. And so that's Bill's virtual ride. And I know of many other teams that are planning really exciting things. I just read today about a team that's going to be riding from Richmond Hill up to Collingwood. And they want to go and celebrate someone in their life that unfortunately passed away from cancer. And Collingwood was her happy place. And so they want to pay tribute to that person in their life. And there's a couple of my buddies that we're going to be riding from London to Kincardine. Actually, I'm going to do it on the Sunday on the 30th. And so everybody has their own ride, and we have families that are going to ride around their block a few times with their children, with their tricycles. So absolutely anything is possible on the virtual ride weekend. And just quickly, and sorry, I am dominating a little bit. Sorry, Tammy. But just to paint the picture a little bit, think about, and we'll get into more details later, but we're going to have an online check-in in advance of the ride so we can get some details from you. Then a week before the ride, we're going to have these curbside pickup depots where you can pick up your swag. And then on August the 29th, we're going to have an opening ceremonies, really short and sweet. and then we're going to invite everyone to go and do their rides that day. And then sorry, I'm getting distracted by all these great messages coming in on the sidebar here. And then at the end of that day, we're going to have a sort of a closing ceremony. We're going to celebrate all the rides, and we're going to tell you how we're going to see what everyone's doing on that day. And we'll get into those details in just a sec. So I'm going to hand it over to Tammy to talk about something pretty exciting for everyone who's tuned in right now.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. It's been kind of haunting me on the side of my desk here. We have the great fortune of working with Joyride Coffee. I don't know if you can see this, but Joyride Coffee is good coffee for a great cause. And of course, I'm sure all of you would agree that the Ride to Conquer Cancer is a great cause. Joyride Coffee has partnered with us and has offered a year's supply of this delicious coffee for one lucky viewer. So we are going to be pooling all of your great questions that you've submitted ahead of today, as well as right now. As we can see, there's a lot of comments going on. We're gonna draw a random name, and you are going to be awarded a year's supply of this delicious coffee. If you'd like more information, please visit joyridecoffee.ca. They're located right here in Toronto, and they deliver on their bike. Can't think of a better way. They also participate in the Ride to Conquer Cancer. So thanks very much to Chris and Brett. We really appreciate your support. So please stay tuned, because you cannot get this unless you are still tuned in at the end of this. All right. Now, back to business. Steve.
Yeah, I think that's you, Tammy. You're going to talk about opening closing ceremonies.
I am. So many of you that are tuned in right now have participated in the ride in the past. So you know how incredible our opening ceremonies are. We often have them, traditionally at Exhibition Place or in Niagara. And during these ceremonies, we acknowledge those who are continuing to battle cancer and those who have won their fight. We encourage everyone, and we really want everyone to tune in to Facebook right here on August 29th at 8:30 a.m. We thought 8:30 was a great time to allow everyone to have a cup of their Joyride coffee and to prep, get ready to go. We are going to just keep it short and sweet and get everyone out on their way, whether you're going to be on your stationary bike at home, or if you've chosen your own route, or if you're going to be participating in one of our suggested routes. Please tune in at 8:30 on the 29th. At the end of the day at 5 p.m., we'd love everyone to come together, open a cold steam whistle, and celebrate the achievements. We know that everyone is going to be very proud of themselves, no matter what distance you accomplished, no matter who you rode with or where you rode, and we really want to celebrate with you. And we're really also hoping that we're going to be able to share some great images from the day. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later on, but 8:30 a.m., tune in Facebook Live, 5 o'clock p.m., tune in to celebrate with us.
Thanks, Tammy. I'm getting distracted by all the great questions coming on the side.
Don't look.
We're going to be, Chris, and all those great questions, we're going to be answering those questions. So stay tuned, and then you'll also have a chance to win the Joyride coffee. Also, hello to all my Geared for Lifers out there. I see a few of my teammates who are putting in props in there. So hello, everybody. The next question that came in from one of our senior riders. And her question was, how do she was not on Strava, and we've talked about how we're encouraging people to join Strava for free, and then so then they can post their ride on Strava on the ride weekend. And she said, I don't know how to do this thing with Strava. And I said, well, first of all, you join for free, and then she is using a Garmin, and it's so easy to link your Garmin to your Strava. In fact, all you have to do is you go to Strava, you go to your settings, you go into your profile, and then you can link all your different apps, whether it's a Garmin, whether it's Zwift, whether it's Peloton bike. There's so many different apps that you could link into your Strava. So when you finish and conclude your activity, it automatically gets uploaded to Strava. And we're hoping on August the 29th that you title your ride the virtual Ride to Conquer Cancer. I want to see a Strava takeover. I don't know if you can trend on Strava, but that's what our goal is on August the 29th. So that's hopefully that answers your question. It's again real easy. Go to your Strava settings, profile, and then add your apps that you already registered for.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve. You know, I've also been talking to a lot of people who have asked me about routes. It's virtual. So, you know, one of our taglines has been your way, do it your way. So we wanted to offer suggested routes to you. So we will not be offering supported routes like you're traditionally accustomed to, but we will offer suggested routes. By joining our Strava group, you will have the ability to see these routes. If you're not part of our Strava group, we have them uploaded on our website at conquercancer.ca. Right now, if you go onto our Strava group, you will see that we have 3 routes that have been uploaded. They have been named Classic Route Day 1, Classic Route Day 2, and the Hammer Route. And the reason why they're named that way is because traditionally these were our classic routes on the first day from Toronto to Hamilton, and on day 2 from Hamilton to Niagara. So please have a look. You don't have to do those routes, but they are suggested for you. When you check in, and we'll talk a little bit more about this later, but when you check in, we encourage everyone to do so online. You'll be able to let us know what route you have elected to ride. And it could be one that you've designed yourself or with your team, with your neighbors, with your children, what have you. This will allow us to then determine where we will put hydration stations. We'll get into that a little bit more later, but just to give you a little tidbit. See, Steve's hydrating now. Thanks, Steve, for backing me up on that.
Thought I'd have a little illustration of hydration. Stop. So talking about hydration stations, so launching in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have online check-in, or we call it the OCI. And it's kind of like a survey that we're going to be sending out to all the riders. And we're encouraging every single one of you to fill out the survey, because it's going to give us insight as to what routes people might be leaning towards. And then we can therefore plan our hydration stations more appropriately. We can't possibly offer hydration stations on every route. There will be maybe 5 or 6 that we pepper throughout the most popular routes around Southern Ontario. We also want to know where people are going to go to pick up their swag, their Road to Rewards program. And we'll talk a little bit about that in just a second. But I see some questions on the sidebar about where do I get my stuff because I've already raised all my money. Well, we're going to tell you where. But we need you to fill out the online check-in survey so that we know where people are going to go to pick up their stuff, so we can properly have the number of t-shirts and hats and jerseys and everything at these different locations. In there, we will also have the safety video. So the safety video this year is going to be a little bit different than a normal year because of, we want to make sure that people are riding appropriately under the conditions. And so it is, the bottom line is that we need you to go in and fill out that survey when we send out the OCI email, which should be coming out in a week or 2.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. So again, if you didn't hear the word already, it's very important that you check in online. It will help us tremendously. Now, I wonder if we can get an image of Road to Rewards. Everyone is working towards Road to Rewards. I am really excited with this program. We introduced this because we wanted to reward those who had already started their fundraising before mid-March happened. We're going to call it that, mid-March happened. And first, I want to show you the Enbridge Ride to Conquer Cancer commemorative ride t-shirt. In order to earn this shirt, all you need to do is raise a total of $350. This will be available for you at pickup locations. And when you check in online, we're going to learn what your size is. It's a great shirt. Let's show the next one. Our legendary ride ball cap. Many of you have seen this before. We produced only 100 last year, and we have been receiving requests for this over and over and over, and we couldn't sell it to anyone. Everyone wanted to purchase them. So instead, we've introduced it into our Road to Rewards. By raising $750, you will get the Ride Legendary Ball Cap. This is sponsored by KPMG. We're very happy and proud and grateful for their continued support. and they really wanted to get their support and put their name on this hat. Our next reward level is our official jersey. What a beautiful jersey that is. This is made by Jack Rue, and this is, what was the fit again, Steve, for this jersey? Put you on the spot.
I think it was comfort fit. It was touring fit. We'll get that. We'll get that before the end of the show.
Yes, I have the name of that, so everyone can go on the Jack Rue site and you can have a look to see how it will fit you, because we really want you to do your best to select the right size. This will help us with our ordering as well. And as you can see, we've got our tagline, "We Ride." Our next reward level is our hammer vest. And I noticed a couple of folks here in the comments mentioning that you're going to be doing a hammer route. So the hammer route is 100 miles. We encourage you to do one of the suggested routes, which is uploaded, and which is uploaded on the Strava group. Sorry, I was a bit distracted there. And we will award you the hammer vest if you raise a minimum $1,500 and ride 100 miles. How do we know you've ridden 100 miles? You know what? We know our riders, and we know that you will tell us where you rode. Show that on Strava or let us know. We'd be happy to present you with this vest. And finally, we have our ambassador jersey. I don't think we have an image of that, but our ambassador jersey, which is sponsored by RBC, here it is. That's pretty slick if you ask me. These are all in standard fit in Jack Rue. So if you go to the Jack Rue website, you look under standard fit, you will know which one will fit you the best. Do your measurements. And here you have a slick ambassador jersey. Raising $2,500 will earn this for you. And one thing I'm going to mention, I know this is one of the questions. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to answer it. So never mind. It has to do with earning your year's worth for your gold or platinum helmet. We're going to skip that. Sorry. Thanks so much. And now,
is it over to me now, Tammy?
I think it is, Steve.
I saw one of the questions was, do the rewards stack? And yes, they do. So, if you hit that ambassador level and you ride 100 miles on August the 29th or in and around there, then you get all the rewards. So more incentive for you to raise over $2,500. They do stack. Okay, next question was, what if I'm away for the week of the pickups? How will I receive my gear? So we are looking at doing a pickup after the event, but right now we're trying to get everybody in advance. And so if you can't make it because you're away or something, then please send a representative. So send our ride office a message to say that, your friend or sister or somebody's going to be going on your behalf to pick up your rewards, and we will make sure that you get your stuff.
Awesome.
I think that answers some of the questions in advance. But now we have a whole nother bunch of questions, Tam.
Yes, sir.
On to page 2.
So I think we have a question from Robert. This is my first time at the ride. Welcome, Robert. Welcome to the family. Is there a limit on how long you can bike over the 2-day event? I think Robert also acknowledged that it's a virtual event and it's not necessarily 2 days, but you can make it 2 days if you wish. Most important thing we can share with you, Robert, is that this is a ride and it's not a race. You can ride at your own pace and in your own time. You can take a break, have a drink of water, enjoy your ride, take some photos, and off you go again. You're part of an incredible team. I understand you're on Team RBC. You've got great supportive team captains with Lori and Alfio, and I know that they will ensure that you're taken care of. So please enjoy yourself, and thank you so much for joining us. You're really going to love it. Steve?
That's your question.
It's Tammy's. Let's see what we got here. Steve, where and when do we pick up our jerseys? Well, we're going to have pickup points being organized throughout the GTA, where you'll be able to do a curbside curbside or social distance pickup from for your Road to Rewards item. Locations and timing will be made available through online check-in. Again, another very important reason why we would like you to do so, to participate in the online check-in, and that'll be active in the next couple of weeks. I hope that answers your question.
Christy G, where can we find suggested routes for August 29th? So that's, I think Tammy mentioned earlier, if you are belong to our Strava group, the routes will be posted there. If you, for whatever reason, don't want to join the Strava group, then go to conquercancer.ca and you can go into our event details section of the website, and we will have the suggested routes also posted there. So Christy, hope that answers that question. And by the way, we're going to have all these suggested routes, but there's a lot of people doing their own thing. Like I said before, it's like IKEA, some assembly required.
I like that.
Okay, John asks, my son and I will be riding a route starting in Cambridge. How do we reach out to other riders who might want to join? So this is a tricky answer to this one. We obviously we can't. We're not going to send out a mass email to find out where everyone's riding and marry. Like we want to try to make sure that people are riding socially appropriate and physically distant from each other, unless of course you're in the bubble of the people you're riding with. But I would suggest that you use social media to post that where you might be riding, and then maybe other riders can jump in on that. And in fact, I'll even offer now, John, if there are other riders in the Cambridge or Kitchener-Waterloo area that want to join you, if you wanted to email into our ride office, and maybe we can connect you that way. So either social media or, we might be able to do some kind of board at the office, but we don't have any other, it looks like there's a whole bunch of people on the side that want to maybe ride with you in Guelph, if you want to go to Guelph.
Awesome. I noticed that. That's great. Thanks, Wendy.
Okay, next question. Michael C. Will there be any support for those who want to ride from Niagara? Where are the washrooms? So good question. So as I said before, when you fill out the online check-in in advance of the ride weekend, we will better understand how many people are going to be where, and then we'll announce where the hydration stations will be. So we can't guarantee at this point in time that there will be a hydration station somewhere between Niagara and Hamilton. I actually did that ride a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, and you're right. There's nothing in between Stony Creek and St. Catharines area. So make sure you have enough water. We will ask you to plan your own route accordingly, because there's a lot of people that are going to be riding all over the place, and so make sure you understand where the local Tim Hortons or McDonald's or somewhere where there is a restroom that you could use along the way, because we just can't possibly have pit stops everywhere. And I'm not sure if Tammy mentioned also, like, these hydration stations. I know she's talked about how they're nothing like our typical pit stops that you'd see at the Ride to Conquer Cancer, but the porta potty or porta potties, if we happen to have two, are going to be cleaned after every use. And so we're going to be following all those protocols. And then, there's going to be probably single-use water and food available to you, but it's not going to be like filling up your bottles like we used to in the past. So we ask you to plan your route accordingly so that you can self-support. You're all event planners right now.
That's right. Thanks, Steve. What is the official hashtag for the virtual ride? Hashtag ride on. Use it for everything, please. We would love to trend on August 29th. So we are counting on our riders to include hashtag ride on in all of your social posts. Start doing it now. That'd be awesome. Thank you.
I love how ride on means, even though the pandemic's happening, we're still riding on.
Yeah.
How clever was that hashtag, Tammy?
I don't know. Someone really smart thought of it.
Must have been someone in marketing.
Maybe.
Okay. Next is how do I create a virtual experience for my team? So I think we've you can do absolutely anything. Like I mentioned before, I've read about a team that's riding from Richmond Hill up to Collingwood. I know of another friend of mine who's riding on her stationary bike at the end of her driveway, and that's her virtual experience, and she's going to have her husband take pictures of her, and hopefully they post it using the hashtag Ride On. And then there's going to be people doing the classic route from Toronto to Hamilton, and everything in between. So it's really up to you, and if you're on a team, gather around a Zoom call and start to figure out what would be fun for your team to participate in on August the 29th.
Nice. Hi, Lori. If I am a 5 or a 10-year rider, how much do I raise this year? Well, thanks for your question, Lori. We are encouraging all of our participants to raise what they're able to. But in order to have 2020 count as a year towards your gold or platinum helmet, we ask that you raise a minimum of $1,000. So not only will you earn a year's credit towards your helmet achievement, but you will also earn an official Ride to Conquer Cancer jersey for reaching that milestone. Pretty easy. Thanks for your question, Lori. From Jay. Hey, Jay, what time are opening and closing ceremonies and on what channels? Well, for those of you who tuned in a little bit late, our opening ceremonies will be on August 29th, right here, same place at 8:30 a.m. That gives you time to have your morning coffee, tune in, join us, and then go off on your ride, either on your stationary bike or out with your friends and your family. And then we'd like you all to come back at 5 o'clock to celebrate with us. If you've got steam whistle, all the better. We're going to have a cold steam whistle, and we're going to be cracking that baby open, and we're going to be celebrating the day that just happened. And hopefully we're going to be looking at a lot of the photos that you've uploaded or you've tagged us in. Thanks, Jay.
And Margaret asked the question, where are the pickup depots? So I know Tammy talked about it before. This is where we're tentatively planning. Midtown Toronto, Mississauga, Scarborough, North York, Hamilton, and Niagara. That's where we're tentatively planning the pickup depots or the curbside pickups. And again, more details will come out in the forthcoming weeks.
You want to take that one, Steve?
Will there be any stations on the route? So I think we mentioned that yes, there will be on some of the routes. I think we're planning on 5 or 6 hydration stations on the most popular routes that people select during the online check-in process in advance.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thanks, Kevin.
And Kevin, again, when will riders be notified if they qualified for the Enbridge donation match? So I think the Enbridge donation match email is going to be going out this week. Is that right, Tam?
Yes. If it hasn't gone out today, it will be this week, because we've ended it. It was very successful, and we will be confirming with everyone how much you matched and what you were matched with. Yes. You get that this week, Kevin.
Okay. Another Kevin. Kevin, you're hogging the questions. How many riders have indicated they're doing the virtual ride? So, we have over 5,000 people signed up. So we're hoping that there's, there's probably a bunch of people that aren't signed up that are going to be doing it. So I'm going to say at least 5,000 people are going to be out there all over, not just Ontario, but around the world. For those who are familiar with the ride, there are people from Australia who come every year to participate, and we've had people from Europe and South America who participate in our ride, and we're expecting that people will be doing our ride all over the place. But of course, Southern Ontario should be inundated with Ride to Conquer Cancer riders on August the 29th.
Thanks, Kevin. Oh, Kelly. Kevin, you're finished asking questions. It's Kelly. All right. How can I get a ride jersey? Kelly, online check-in is where you're going to tell us what your jersey size is, and it will also allow us to understand where your optimal pickup location will be. Raise $1,000 and you will be eligible for your official Ride to Conquer Cancer jersey. Again, if you raise $1,000, it also gives you a year's credit towards your 5-year or 10-year helmet. Thanks for the question.
Ryan, how can I confirm my jersey size? So Ryan, I think we mentioned earlier, these jerseys are Jackaroo. So if you go on to the Jackaroo website, they have a sizing chart. And we mentioned earlier that these are standard fit jerseys. So that's how you can confirm your jersey size. And during our online check-in process, I think we'll be asking people to confirm their jersey size so that we will have your proper size jersey at your pickup depot just before the ride weekend.
Thank you. How do I share my virtual ride? Andrea, thanks for asking that question, Andrea. We mentioned earlier the hashtag Ride On. We'd love for you to share your virtual ride on any social channel and then use the hashtag Ride On. Right now, we also have a Strava group. Please join that group if you haven't already, and you can share your route with all of the other followers, but social posts would be the best way to do it.
By the way, I have to mention on the side, we won a trophy for 100 messages today with Restream Chat. I think it's kind of like a trophy on Strava when you get a top 10 on a Strava segment. I feel like I'm out on my bike right now.
Well, and Steve, you are so competitive that even getting a little trophy icon in a Restream Chat is something to celebrate. So I think maybe we should open a steam whistle after this.
It's so hot in my house right now. I might have to do that. Okay, Kevin B asked, when will the routes be shared? So I believe we already have a few of the routes posted to Strava, and therefore they should be posted shortly to our website. But over the next couple of weeks, all the routes are going to be uploaded to our Strava group and to our website.
Take the next one, Steve.
What's that? How will you keep the pickup location safe to pick up? So Rachel, good question. We are going to be using all best practices that we've learned over the past several months, and we had a great diagram that unfortunately we couldn't upload it in time for this presentation, but there's going to be big open spaces that we're going to be reserved for these pickup stations, and then you can simply drive by, you yell out your name. There's going to be volunteers that are going to be geared up that will be able to bring your package out to you. So we're going to be making sure that our social distancing measures are implemented at all the curbside pickups, so everything is completely safe for everyone who shows up.
Awesome. Thank you. How do I know my helmet size? You know what, Anthony? I looked this one up. Measure the circumference of your head with a tape measure. And if you don't have a tape measure, get a piece of string and then measure it with measure the piece of string. If you are, I'll tell you, if you are around, what is it, 35, hang on, I'm looking it up for you.
Is it 50 to 59 inches?
Thank you. Yep, 50 to 59 inches is small to medium, and 59 to 63 inches is large. So that should give you a good sense of where you would be. 59 is small to medium, and 59 to 63 is large.
I'm thinking those must be centimeters.
Yeah, did I say inches? Yeah, thank you. Sorry, you might have a really big head. I don't know. My bad. Thanks, Steve.
Dominic, is the virtual ride only to be ridden on August the 29th? No, Dominic, you can ride your virtual ride almost any time. I think, if it's looking like tornadoes and it's going to be raining and bad weather on August the 29th, then we'll still go ahead with our virtual ride on August the 29th with our ceremonies and everything. But if you wanted to ride on the 27th or 28th or 30th, then that's entirely up to you. But hopefully, with the crazy hot and warm summer we've had so far, that weather continues on August the 29th. But if you wanted to ride on days on either side, then go for it.
All right.
Hammer veterans react to basically a flat 100 miles.
How does that?
So I'm not sure exactly what he's asking, but if we posted a route that is pretty flat and it's 100 miles, I think a lot of people would like that. But if you want a really hilly ride, there's nothing stopping you from going up Rattlesnake or up the escarpment a couple of extra times if you wanted to get your meters climbing in there. But I'm not quite sure I totally understand the question from Dominic.
Okay. Oh, good. Are these typical jerseys that fit two sizes too small? And is my size selection final? Well, encourage you to go to the Jack Roo site, look at the standard fit, and then look at the measurements there. Dominic, that will give you your best guess at the sizing. So whether it's two sizes too small or not, I don't know. But is your size selection final? Yes. We are doing our very best to keep our overage in control, right? We don't want to order too much. We want to be very, very careful with our donors' funds. We want to make sure that we're being very, very cognizant of our expenses. So if you can do your best to select the jersey size that you feel would fit you best, that would be what we are suggesting.
Yeah, and Dominic, the standard fit is a little bit more of a comfort fit. It's not like the super elite race fit where, if you have 3% body fat, that's the only way you're going to squeeze into a jersey. So they're not race fit, but still go to the website like Tammy said, and that'll help you.
Great. Thank
Chris,
you.
5th year riding, will I be getting the gold helmet? I've been aiming towards this goal since the very beginning of time. Okay, I added the last word in there, but Chris, as long as you raise over $1,000 this year, you will get your full year credit. So you'll get your jersey and you will get your gold helmet. And for everybody shooting towards their gold or platinum helmets, as long as you raise $1,000, you're going to get your credit towards your helmets in the future.
Great. Is there a recommended safe distance apart for cycling to prevent spread of COVID? Well, there is a recommended safe distance, Ralph. It's between 5 and 20 meters. So depending on who you're cycling with or around, you could be with your family and within your bubble, and you don't need to worry about the safe distance, only for safety reasons on the road. But aside from that, that is recommended between 5 and 20. So that distance would be up to you to maintain. But like I said, if you're with your family or someone within your bubble, then you can make that determination. Ralph.
Is 2 meters adequate for bikes in motion? You know what, Ralph? If it depends on the wind, the people you're riding with, and I think 2 meters is probably not enough. Tammy said 5 to 20 meters is what we've seen on some of the Cycling Authority websites. So 5 to 20 meters, again, depending on weather, wind, etc. And I just want to jump in. I see I know there's people submitting questions like directly through Facebook, and there's also all the ones on the side. Hopefully we make sure we capture all the questions also coming in on the side because they're coming in fast and furious.
That is Facebook. Those are Facebook.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see.
Will the team be creating any rides outside GTA? Yes, we will be. I think some of the routes we've posted so far, like the classic routes and some of the the more popular routes in Southern Ontario, but I do believe we'll be posting rides in Southwestern Ontario, North, etc. So yes, we will be.
Yeah, thank you. Sandy, is there a Zwift event for the international riders? Sandy, are you an international rider? We had a Zwift event earlier in July, and we have been talking about doing another Zwift event before our August 29th virtual event. We will be communicating this through email and a message through our Strava group, and it will be hosted by our friends at KPMG. So to answer your question, yes, just do not have an actual date for you yet, Sandy. Thank you for that.
Kevin says, will one of the pickup locations be transit friendly? Actually, that's a great,
very good question.
Great suggestion, Kevin. And hopefully our logistics people are paying attention. But yeah, we should absolutely consider that. So, duly noted, Kevin. Thank you for that.
Yes. Scott.
Scott, I know Scotty. Will Steve be MC again after the virtual ride? Well, Scott, I don't know. We're still determining that, but I hope so. And I'll give you a shout out. I'll give you a shout out, Scott. Thanks for that.
Christy asks, always wondered for 5-year, 10-year, etc. helmets, do the years have to be ridden consecutively? They don't, Christy. We'd love you to be able to do them consecutively, but absolutely not. This year, if you've missed this earlier on, for the 2020 virtual ride, in order to earn your 5 or 10 year or a year towards your 5 or 10 year, we're asking that you raise a minimum of $1,000. If we are to resume our ride in a physical sense and be able to gather in a large group, we will be going back to what everyone knows and loves. So stay tuned for that. But for this year, it's $1,000. And you do not have to ride consecutively.
Wendy, are the Strava route turnaround routes or just straight start and finish? Good question. I think we're going to have a group of different types of routes. Like obviously our classic routes that go from Toronto to Hamilton is point to point. But I do believe we will be posting routes that is an out and back or a circular route so that you can start and finish in the same location. There's pros and cons to both. One of the main things we want to ensure is that we're not promoting gathering. So the last thing we want to have is 500 people showing up to one location and all that. That's not what we're looking for here. We're hoping that people find their own routes and stagger themselves accordingly.
Thank you, Wendy. Kevin, can we do an early re-reg for 2021? Kevin, have I told you lately how much I love you? I love you thinking that way. Right now, we are not doing early registrations, but keep it in mind because we will be doing registrations soon. So thank you for the question, but we don't have the opportunity to do that just yet.
Maddie, are there women's and men's sizes like last year or unisex on the jerseys? I think we are doing. You know what? We'll get back to you, Maddie, on that one. I think we are, but let us get back to you. And hopefully, before the end of this, we'll be able to answer that one.
Yes, Maddie, we'll get back to you on that. Thank you.
What is Strava? Search it up, Murray. Go to the interweb and Google Strava, and it's essentially it's a fitness app for cyclists, runners, skiers, swimmers, you name it. Yeah, it's free. They do have a paid version if you want certain extra features, but Strava it's essentially a fitness app that tracks your kilometers, so you can use it to track all your kilometers when you're riding. That's basically the simple explanation, Murray.
Mm-hmm. When will our individual fundraising goals be adjusted on our ride page? Well, your fundraising goals are automatically suggested by the site. So those have not been altered since we went virtual. I think you're asking, I think that's what you're asking. You can manually change that goal yourself, Christina, and I encourage you to do so if you're finding it distracting or if you want to increase your fundraising goal, by all means, you can do that manually.
Christina, how can team captains find out whether any of their riders had deferred donations to next year? I guess really it's a privacy thing. If there has been any deferrals to next year, you would have to ask the riders on your team. We can't reveal that information. That's a sort of an individual thing. I can tell you though that very few of our riders are deferring their funds to next year. I think in the first webinar we hosted almost 2 months ago, I spoke about how important it was to have the money come in this year so that our researchers can use the funds right away. Because any deferrals, we have to move that money to next year, and we're not able to use it right away for research. So the good news is very few of our riders are deferring.
Yes. Thanks, Christina. Brendan, what's the easiest way to get back to Toronto from Hamilton? Is the end of either suggested route close to a GO station? That's a good
So
question.
I would answer this one. Like we're unfortunately we're not planning Canada's largest bike ride this year, and we're asking all 5,000 of you to be an event planner yourself. The route that we've posted, our classic route, ends probably at McMaster University. So I think it's a little bit a ways from the GO station down there. So you would have to look that up yourself, but I don't think it's too far away from the GO station in Hamilton. I'm not sure what the schedules are or anything like that. So hopefully that's easy to get your hands on all that information.
Thanks, so Brendan. Getting close here. The deadline to have the required $1,000 plus raised in order to obtain our gold helmet. Well, our online check-in is going to happen just before the August 29th event, but we are giving riders or participants the opportunity to meet their fundraising goals by October 29th. So you have the ability to do what we call a deferred self-pledge. And if you have not raised the amount that you've set yourself so that you've committed for yourself, you are able to put down your credit card, give us a $2 payment, and we'll hold on to that for you. You have until the 29th to raise the dollars, and if not, then you can make up the difference through your credit card. I hope that answers your question, Dennis.
Kevin A, you have to hear Steve at the closing party.
No.
Kevin A, I will be there for you, man. That's the second person. I'm going to be there with my steam whistle, and the longer it goes, the more creative it's going to get. So, Kevin, thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. I want to remind everyone that we're getting close to pulling a name to win a 1-year supply of Joyride coffee. Stay tuned.
Willie Wong, will there be any tech teams helping us out in case we have a flat or mechanical issues? So, sorry, Willie, but unfortunately, we're unable to provide any tech support. We're not really able to provide any of the event infrastructure that we have in the past. We're not allowed to host an event this year, and we are able to host these hydration stations. So you're going to need to be self-sufficient or plan your route accordingly, so that if you're doing a city route, that there's maybe some bike shops along the way. But unfortunately, we're unable to provide tech teams out on the routes this year.
Awesome. Michelle, if an amazing team captain, Tim Martin, creates an amazing route, is there a way he can submit it as a suggestion? Absolutely, Michelle, you can submit it as a suggestion, but it doesn't mean that we will upload that onto our suggested routes.
But I would say, Michelle, send it into our ride office, and they will give it over to our logistics team, and maybe there's already one that's similar, or who knows, maybe Tim Martin, the world's best team captain, maybe his route is better than ours. So send it in, and we'll look at it.
And maybe Tim could start, a part-time job on our logistics team. Tim? Never know. But thank you. Cecily, I love that name, and I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. Is the money raised before the ride was canceled going to count towards the Road to Rewards? Yes, it is. The Road to Rewards is so good for so many reasons, and one of the reasons is that it acknowledges all the hard work that you put in before mid-March. So yes, if you've already raised dollars up until March, counts towards it. Just keep raising funds, and you will accumulate the Road to Rewards swag. Great question.
Tammy says, is there anything I need to do online the day of doing the virtual ride? So Tammy, the one thing that we're asking you to do ahead of the ride is make sure you complete the online check-in, which will be coming out in another week or two. On the actual ride weekend, we're hoping that you tune in to watch our live stream opening ceremonies, watch our live stream closing ceremonies. We want you to upload pictures to your social media feeds and use the hashtag ride on, and hopefully if you're on Strava, you post your route and also hashtag it with Ride to Conquer Cancer, because we want to be trending on Strava if there's such a thing, and we want to be trending on Twitter. So we want the whole world to know that we have 5,000 plus people riding all over the world to help conquer cancer in our lifetime.
Yeah, awesome. So I have an update to the question on the jerseys and whether or not the jerseys come in men's and women's sizes or if they're unisex. So to confirm, they are going to be coming in men's sizes and women's sizes. So again, that's a standard comfort fit. So please visit Jack Rue and get your sizing in there.
So we have a message from Dr. Chris Page. He says, "We are great. We should have our own sports talk show." And so just so folks know out there, Dr. Chris Page used to be head of research at all of University Health Network. So this guy is a researcher at Princess Margaret and University Health Network. He's done every single ride with his wife, Colleen. And I think what he's also saying here is thank you to all the riders who are tuning in today and everybody who's going to take on the virtual Ride to Conquer Cancer Challenge on August the 29th. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Dr. Page. Oh, Blair. Blair, I've got to identify. Blair is in our Ride Hall of Fame. He and a good friend of his, June, were nominated. They were acknowledged and honored last year. And Blair has a question. He wants to know what route Don Gowdy is riding. And Don Gowdy is my colleague, and Don works very hard behind the scenes. Blair, I think Don's going to want to ride whatever route you're riding. Simple. Thanks for the question.
Francisco, can you create a template to print your name, I guess, on the bicycle plates? So you know what? This is where I'm going to go back to saying that we are all event planners this year. So I'm going to suggest that you just go onto PowerPoint, create something fun, put your name, put the number of years you've ridden, and then put that on the back of your jersey or on the back of your saddle. That's a great idea. In fact, I think we should encourage all riders to do that, because that's one of the things I love on the ride weekend is seeing all the names on the back of your plate. Maybe put it on a piece of cardboard so it makes it nice and hard. But you're an event planner, Francisco, and if you have a good idea, let us know, and we'll make sure that we share it on social media for everyone to do that.
Awesome. I think we are wrapping this up, and we have, if that's okay with everyone.
Well, I still see a million questions coming in. We're gonna be doing another one of these again in another few weeks to make sure that everyone has all their questions answered. I see Shelley's asking that no roads are closed and no signage. Absolutely not. This is we're not organizing any organized rides. We're suggesting routes out there. There's going to be no signage, and the roads are open. So you'll see the safety video when you do online check-in that you have to abide by the rules of the road.
That's right. That's right. So what do you say, guys? Can we do our draw for the 1-year supply of Joyride coffee? Okay. Drum roll, please, Steve. I think we've drawn a name. Ooh, I see the name. Kevin. Is Kevin Dumanoir? Kevin, congratulations.
Kevin. Winner, chicken dinner.
Winner. I'm still going to open this bag, Kevin. It's not for you. You have your own year supply. So congratulations, and thank you so very much for your participation, for submitting questions, and for tuning in. Steve, any other parting words for our friends here? Lots of them. I
feel like we could stay on here and answer questions for another hour. But folks, you know what? If you have any urgent questions, please contact the Ride office. They can help answer all those questions. And again, Tammy and I are going to be back on our live sports talk show in a few weeks, so we can answer the rest of those questions. And there's a few unanswered questions that we'll tidy up. I just wanted to just to wrap it up to say thank you for everyone for tuning in. I think this one, there was a lot more engagement than the last one that we did with a ton of questions coming through. It's so great to see how many people are staying focused on on the why, not the where. Yeah, you know what? We're not going to be able to ride to Hamilton and Niagara Falls, but it's about the why. And some of the stories that I've seen coming in of the riders and why they're riding is the key thing that's holding us all together. And I'm really glad to see so many people super engaged and raising money for Princess Margaret and getting out there on their bicycles on at the end of August. So thanks everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Kevin will be in touch and will deliver your coffee to you. Thanks, everyone. Stay safe.
Hashtag ride on.
Hashtag ride on, everybody. Cheers.
Bye.